just like the cats. Written by TheloniousHowe. Do you think they're looking for us? Bront quietly hushed Jerushula. While humans and dragons weren't quite at war, they were often at odds, and he definitely didn't feel like dealing with those two. No, he whispered. They wear no plate and only carry shoddy spears. These are lowly hunters. Jerushula breathed a sigh of relief. Well, should we scare them off then? Bront waved her off. No, they're just trying to survive, just like us. We should leave them be. But they're trouncing all over my favorite napping roost, she protested. They're light and they're harmless. I'm sure your spot will be fine, he hissed back. You know, almost related, I've been thinking recently, Jerusalem. No, Bront exclaimed. They got to you too, didn't they? No, she responded, embarrassed. It was Ashmi. She flew by today. Oh, Bront tried to keep the venom from his voice. And what did she want? To show off a new armor, I suppose. But she hid it well under the guise of trading realm updates. Jerusalem replied. Bront huffed. I see. And how is her new armor? The submissive wench? You should have seen it, Bront. It was of fine casted steel, gilded with gold, Jerusalem squealed. It shone so regally in the sun. I almost wish I could garner a set. And then she said the strangest thing to me. You know what she said? It would be untrue to say that Bront didn't feel just a little bit jealous. It was true that there was an air of hostility between the two races, but a set of finely crafted armor would suit him quite nicely. There is no way that I'd know that, he replied flatly. She said that her humans gave her the best belly rubs. Can you believe it? What is a belly, and how does one rub it? Bront inquired. I don't know, and I imagine gently. It was Ashmay's. You know how she is, cryptic as always, she huffed. This triggered something that long lay dormant in him. The finest of protection, these apparently delightful rubs of the belly, the flying all the way out here. Well, that meant that she was well fed, so Bront decided to do something stupid. Well, now I want to know. I'm going to go find out, he said. Bront, I don't think that... But she never finished the statement. He was already off, stampeding through the pine glade at full pace straight towards the unsuspecting duo of human hunters. If his stampede through the woods had been witnessed by any third-party observers, Bront definitely would have been labelled as a mindless wild beast on a rampage. But fortunately, there were none to be found. So fortunately, this uncouth display would only be known by him, Jerushula, and perhaps his two hapless quarries. As he crashed a tree to the side, he saw both of them turn, and one of them rather pathetically uttered, Well, we're fucked. He could cover a great amount of ground in a small amount of time, and, in an instant, found himself standing a mere feet away from the horrified humans. He decided to stand for a moment, to allow them to take in his full glory of his splendor. The braver of the two shakily leveled its spear in his general direction. Bront examined the terrified pair of humans and formulated a plan. He slowly reached his front leg out towards them, and a claw fully extended, and made a small swipe. As the tip of Brond's talon grazed the point of the spear, as a muted metallic clink sound emanated, just loud enough for all three to hear. Bront immediately threw himself on his back and began thrashing about in the forest. Defeat! He cried. Foul defeat! The two very bewildered hunters slowly shared a look of confusion. Mercy, I beg of you! His youth spent as a thespian lent a great hand to the show. Ooh, one of the hunters sighed. You're one of those. Please, Bront begged. My wounds, I fear they are mortal. I beg of you, fetch me a restorative in recompense for having the unyielding loyalty of a dragon. Right, the same voice responded sarcastically. And I suppose that the only cure would happen to be a full roast of lamb with an aubergine clementine glaze and a tub of whole goat's milk and a raspberry layer cake. Bront could feel his mouth watering at the idea of such a succulent feast. Oh, but of course, if you could fabricate such a tonic, it would surely cure all my ailments. Look, this time a second voice interjected, as much as we'd love to spend all day cooking you up a culinary masterpiece, we've got to eat ourselves, so no, there'll be no feast for you. We're scrounging for deer. Bront opened one of his eyes to stare down at the humans. Ho, is that all? He righted himself and turned his tail towards the pair. As he crouched himself down, he quickly chided the two. Well, hop on, I know the best rutting spots. We'll have 100 steers by sundown. Bont was determined, and he was going to get his glazed lamb. End of story. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Caspar Arnholt, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.